Restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is high stakes and wild cards. This is family and tradition. This is everything on the line. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now. LVMS.com.
Ready to bet smarter? Get sports betting tips straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
I like the Commanders at 3.
I know if it hits 7, don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
The Wise guys were all over Florida last week, and they're against Florida this week. That's not a common pattern.
I think these teams could score a lot. I would look at the over.
I'm very high on Tampa Bay. I think they can go there and they can win this game.
Subscribe for free to Sports by the Book on YouTube. Your winning edge starts now.
It's Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. Here's Jeff Parles and Alex White.
Welcome in. Good morning, everybody. It's Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White, here on the 2nd of October. And we have a lot to get to today. We have one very bad college football game. Sorry, Sam Houston and New Mexico State. Sorry, just not a particularly good game. We have an NFL game that a lot of injuries on one side. And, of course, Alex, 3 game threes in Major League Baseball. This is year 4 of the best-of-3 wild card format, not counting 2020, which was, again, makeshift across the board. We had 2 game threes in the first 3 years of this format, and we have 3 today. So we go over what we had in 3 years in one fell swoop here.
Pretty fitting, right? I mean, you and I have been talking about it all season. What a great baseball season it has been. It's been competitive. We've had a lot of moves with who is leading the division. So I think it is pretty fitting that now we have 3 game threes here.
We'll break that down later in the show. Our guy, Dwayne Colucci, is going to join us in a few moments. He's getting ready up at the Rampart Race and Sportsbook for his normal Thursday slot. I didn't even know my handy-dandy headphones were even next to me. Didn't even look for that. See, sometimes preparation gets lost by accident. But we'll begin, though, our thoughts on this NFL game here tonight with Dwayne coming up in about 5 to 10 minutes from now. And, you know, Alex, this number has really gotten out of hand. And, look, the Niners, we found out yesterday. We already know George Kittle's on the shelf. He's on IR. We know that. The Niners, Brock Purdy's not going to play after playing this past Sunday, which I think Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch should be getting destroyed for that decision to play him against Jacksonville. In the end, it's better to lose AFC games than NFC games. You lost it anyway, and now you don't have Purdy in a gigantic NFC West game against, to me, still the best team in the division. You have no Juwan Jennings. You have no Ricky Pearsall tonight. So the Niners are running out a wide receiver crew and tight end crew that is the following. By the way, Mac Jones, of course, will get his 3rd start of the year in place of Purdy. Here's what we got tonight. We got Demarcus Robinson. Revenge game for Demarcus Robinson, by the way, a Ram a year ago. Kendrick Bourne, who I had forgotten was back in San Francisco. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, because, of course, MVS just manages to appear out of thin air.
That's right.
Sky Moore, of course, came over this offseason, really predominantly a punt returner for San Francisco so far this year. And in the tight end room, we've seen Jacob Tonjes actually play pretty well through the first few games in for Kittle, Luke Farrell, and Braden Willis, which means, Alex White, we are going to see a bleep ton of Christian McCaffrey tonight. And it is going to have to be a huge Christian McCaffrey game for San Francisco to stay in. But this game moved from 3 to 8.5, Alex. Like, there's 9 in the market as well. Like, this is a huge move. And we already said that Mac Jones to Purdy to Jones is not that big of a swing. This is just because we have, on top of the quarterback change, obviously Nick Bosa's season's over, and now we have cluster injuries at the pass catcher position.
And that's it right there, cluster injuries. And I think Vinny's always done a great job of reminding people to, be careful when they start to cluster. It's worth even more. And who these players are to their backup and how they step in. I do think we're getting a little steep here. I mean, in a division game, you have Kyle Shanahan on the other side. Robert Saleh running that defense. I know we don't have Nick Bosa, but they've still been a very good defense so far this year. 7th in points per game, 6th in opponent yards per play. So I think they can slow the Rams down. I worry about the pressure. I mean, Matthew Stafford can throw all over the field if they aren't getting pressure to him. And since Bosa has gone down, the Niners have definitely taken a step back in that regard. But 8.5, yeah, I can't fault you if you want to take a little bit of the Niners to keep this thing close. I think you're completely right. We're going to see a lot of McCaffrey. I'm shocked with what the number is for his anytime touchdown. It's almost like the books have too much on the other side. We got Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams. Is that where all the money is going?
So Sean, throw that back up there. Kyron Williams was minus 170. The short shot, not a surprise, minus 10 on McCaffrey, which is as cheap of a price as you will ever see on him when he is fully healthy, which after watching him this first month, he looks like himself again, which is a great sign for not only just Niner fans, but football fans in general and every Christian McCaffrey fantasy owner that got him probably 2-3 picks later than normal because of the injuries. Minus 110 on him. By the way, Adams is plus 105. Alex, if we're going into this market, we just got to go down the tube here. We just got to go down the board because we have no idea what the Niner pass catching room is going to look like tonight. Like, is Valdez-Scantling going to get some run? Is that worth it at 12-1 here tonight on an anytime touchdown? Tutu Atwell scored the winner last week for LA. He's 7-1. Yes. You always know you're capable of, again, Niner defense, maybe not the best defense to do this against, but we always know Tutu's capable of busting a big one like he did for the winner a week ago against Indianapolis. There's some really juicy prices out there tonight because of the unknown factor of the wide receiver room for San Francisco here tonight. By the way, real quick, I have no plays on this game at this moment. I may have something by the time the game goes off. This feels like it's too big of a move, but if you told me the Rams won this game 27-10, 24-10, Niners struggle to block as well. That Ram front that's played some awesome football through the first month. I wouldn't be shocked there. I kind of like both team totals under. I like the game under as well here tonight, Alex. That would be the only looks I would have right now. I'm with you there. I really am. I wanted to know what the Rams team total was to potentially go over, but 27.5, I just think that is way too high. I do expect a lower scoring game here, short week, less time to prepare. That usually benefits the defenses more than the offenses, and you're getting the hook there with both sides. So yeah, I like both. I got to lean to the under for the full game and both team totals. We will have more thoughts on this game later with our good friend Dwayne Colucci. Sean, let's just hit a quick 1-minute break here to get everything all lined up with our guy DC, live from the Rampart Race and Sportsbook in lovely Summerlin, Las Vegas, with Dwayne Colucci when we get back. Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is high stakes and wild cards. This is family and tradition. This is everything on the line. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now. LVMS.com.
Ready to bet smarter? Get sports betting tips straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
I like the Commanders at 3.
I know if it hits 7, don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
The wise guys were all over Florida last week, and they're against Florida this week. That's not a common pattern.
I think these teams could score a lot. I would look at the over.
I'm very high on Tampa Bay. I think they can go there and they can win this game.
Subscribe for free to Sports by the Book on YouTube. Your winning edge starts now.
Welcome back in Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White. And now joining us, it's our guy, Dwayne Colucci, live from the Race and Sportsbook up at the Rampart. He's the director for both the Race and the Sportsbook up there. DC, good morning. Happy Thursday. Happy beginning of the new football week.
Yeah, definitely an exciting interdivisional matchup tonight.
Well, let's just start there. You know, this game, I mean, we're 3-1 against 3-1. Like, this is a huge game tonight in the ultra-competitive NFC West, where the Seahawks are off to a 3-1 start as well. Cardinals are 2-2. Granted, those 2 wins have come against New Orleans and Carolina, so really just high-end wins for Arizona through the first 5 weeks. By the way, they play Tennessee this weekend, so they might continue to get fat and happy against the bottom of the league. But, Dwayne, I'll just ask you, how much is too much with the way this has moved? Because we've already seen the 49ers win a pair of games with Mac Jones at quarterback this year. Again, it was New Orleans and Arizona, the opponents for those 2 games, but 3.5 at the onset before we knew Purdy was really banged up again. Obviously down the board with their wide receivers, but this is a 5-point move now from where Chris and company opened this on Sunday night after we saw the Rams beat the Colts and the Niners lose their first game of the year to Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think, more of the wide receivers and the weapons that San Francisco has as opposed to Mac Jones and Brock Purdy. I mean, Mac Jones might be the best backup in the NFL. So, yeah, I don't think you're losing all that much. It's just the factor of the wide receivers being all banged up, no Kittle. You guys were talking about minus 110 on McCaffrey. Yeah, that's very low, but, very high for his standards. But he's going to be keyed on tonight. So that's the whole factor why you're getting a little more value there. And the Rams at 8.5, that's a lot. I mean, I'm like you, Jeff. I got to lay off this game unless maybe it goes to 9, and then I could take San Francisco. I mean, we're looking at about a 3-1 ticket count. Money is about 4-1. So definitely the Rams are on the parlays and the teasers. Some of the sharps got down anticipating Purdy, but they didn't realize that there was going to be a plethora of injuries. So we had to move that real quick. Like you said, Chris opened it at 3.5. We're at 8.5 now at the Rampart and South Point. So, you look at the anytime touchdown propositions, maybe, Mac Jones scrambles in one, Valdez-Scantling, down the field deep. They have to, have some form of offense because the Rams, if they keep their defense, the 49ers defense on the field, they're going to score a ton of points. So it's hard to gauge the total too, even though it's down 3 points. We opened that at 47 and now it's down to 44. But if you have Nakua and Adams just running deep routes, and like you said, Atwell and those guys, they can put up a bunch of points in a hurry. And then if they're up by 20 or 30, you start to play the prevent and maybe Frisco could score. So this is a tough game to handicap. The West is stacked, like you said. You have Seattle, you have Arizona. They're right there. Probably the best division right now in the NFC, believe it or not. And this is a marquee matchup. The 49ers will definitely be up for this game. It's just a matter of if they have enough talent on the field in this particular week. And the Rams' offense has just been stellar. I mean, Puka Nacua, he's one of the top offensive weapons in the NFL right now. You complement him with Devontae Adams. Stafford is the wily veteran. He knows how to get them the ball. But, if Stafford ever goes down, then it's a whole different scenario. So this is a tough game to handicap. I know the 49ers are going to be looking to put pressure on Stafford and, bang him around so he doesn't have those easy crossing patterns and fly patterns to these deadly weapons that the Rams have. And the Rams, they got out of that Colt game with a victory, but it was a hard-fought victory. We saw what happened the week before. They could definitely compete with the NFC's best in the Eagles. So this is a huge game for both teams. It's unfortunate the 49ers are so banged up, though, guys. I give an edge to the Rams, but I would be taking 9 if this game gets to 9. It's just such a big movement. And don't buy into it just being the quarterback. There's several issues on the 49ers side of the ball. When you take guys out like Kittle and the wide receivers, Bosa, it just becomes such a difficult side to bet.
Dwayne, let's keep it in the NFL here. London, quite the matchup, a battle of backups. Carson Wentz, and now we get to see Dylan Gabriel making his first start. Kind of a weird spot for him to be doing that against a Brian Flores defense. You see it right here. Vikings 3.5-point favorites. Lowest total on the board at 36.
I mean, is Cleveland the worst coach team in the NFL, Alex? I mean, give me a break. You're going to throw this kid in now? He should have been in 2 weeks ago. I mean, the Cleveland defense is very solid, but you saw Carson Wentz open it up. He had 350 yards passing last week against the Steelers, who were supposed to have a good defense. But these Europe games are a little different. Jefferson is going to be tough to seal, but the Browns could definitely do it. It's just a matter of, can this rookie quarterback lead them down the field? I mean, the game manager is now on the bench. They wasted time with Joe Flacco. He should have never started the season. He should be there to groom this young talent that Cleveland has. Their coaching staff is ridiculous now, throwing this kid in the fire, having to go across the pond. Very difficult spot for the Browns. I don't see them scoring any points unless this kid can really light it up. I think this is the Vikings game to lose. That's why you're seeing 3.5 on this game. The ticket count is 2-1 on the Vikings. Money is 3-1. We're going to see a ton of Viking money and parlays and teasers, because this is the game where people don't get up on the West Coast for it. We had, a good crowd for the Europe game last week, but a lot of these people will be betting this game on Friday and Saturday and looking ahead to the Sunday matchups, maybe even tonight's game to the Saturday game. So you're going to have a plethora of parlays and teasers on Minnesota here. Cleveland is so hard to get a read on, but they have a great defense. Total is at 36 currently at the Rampart and South Point. Very low total for an overseas game. We saw a lot of points scored last week. Brown defense is very tough, though, as is Minnesota's. This is a different type of game. I think Minnesota will come out on top, but they could definitely fall within that 3.
It's funny. It's 36, which is the lowest total for an NFL game so far through the first, now will be 5 weeks of the season. I love this under at 36. I mean, it's so ridiculously low, but I mean, my big word.
Jeff, it's another game where, God forbid, that the Minnesota offense is on the field constantly. If the kid can't move the ball, then you start to see points because the defense will get tired. And the long ball in these European games is definitely prominent. And with Jefferson out there, several other weapons, Mason's been running the ball very well. Just be careful. That's a low total.
That's my biggest worry, is that Gabriel scores 14 points for the Viking defense. That's
right. Yeah,
really,
exactly.
That's really my biggest worry by far in this game. I am. You mentioned it. I don't agree with you on them being wrong for playing Flacco, but if you're going to play him, why wouldn't you just let him get destroyed by Brian Flores this week, and then you come home and play Dylan Gabriel against Pittsburgh or Miami one of the next 2 weeks in home, and instead of having to play a guy who historically has tortured young quarterbacks in Brian Flores. I just think the timing of this was just beyond stupid for Cleveland.
Agree. But that's why I said you either put the kid in earlier in the season, or you wait a couple of weeks. This 4-yard passing attack is just ridiculous. I mean, Joe Flacco, his skill set has totally diminished. This is not Vince Evans, where he could still throw the ball down the field when he was long in his career. He was definitely one of those backups that was around for quite a while. Rich Gannon, guys like that, and they had a skill set. Flacco being just a game manager, well, that's done.
Dwayne, let's go to the movable object against the not-so-strong force in the Meadowlands this upcoming week, and that's the two defenses that are in this game, the Cowboys and the Jets. Dwayne, I can't believe I'm about to say this. I feel bad for Dak Prescott, because Dak Prescott through the first month has been the best quarterback in the NFL by every statistical measure out there. And the Cowboys are 1-2-1 because that defense is such a joke through this first month. The Jets, Aaron Glenn looks like Mike Singletary as a head coach, which is not a good place to be. The Jets with real coaching would be 2-2 right now. They're 0-4 instead. Dallas is a 2.5-point road favorite, but Dwayne, can you talk me off this over? I know the Bear-Cowboy game stayed under, but I mean, where are the stops coming from in this game at 47.5?
Well, it's only like you said, if Dak finally has a bad game, and Justin Fields could stop himself. I mean, he's a turnover machine. So, you have those options. But if he starts turning it over deep in his own end, Dallas's defense may actually score in this game. So, I don't see any defense in this game at all. I think it's a dead over, like you said. Dallas should have won the Eagle game, I'll be honest with you. They should have won last week. I mean, LaFleur is just he's going to make mistakes, and you could always count on that. And Dallas was in a position to win that game, even though Green Bay let the clock run out. Dallas has a good offense. You could see it even without CD. They were able to put up 40 against this great Green Bay defense. And Parsons, the greatest defensive player ever, well, he kind of disappeared since he's put on that Green Bay jersey. He isn't doing all that much. So Dallas definitely is tough. Jets could move the ball, though, here. Definitely keep your eye. Hall was very vocal last week. Glenn, like you said, 0-4 to start. Does he make it out of this season? I mean, they do have some talent with Garrett Wilson and Fields back there and Breece Hall, but it's just a matter of, can you get the ball in the end zone? I think this week they should be able to. This is a tough spot for the Cowboys because you see them always losing to these mediocre teams. I mean, they couldn't do anything against Caleb Williams, and, Chicago's improved, don't get me wrong, but you still should be able to stop this kid occasionally. I'm hoping they'll be able to stop, from a fan perspective, Justin Fields a couple of times, but they have no defense, Jeff. I mean, you could throw the deep ball. Garrett Wilson should have a monster game this week. Even Lazard should get involved. This is a tough game on the road for the Cowboys. They hate going to MetLife, and that field is dangerous. I'll be honest with you. You saw one of the greatest wide receivers in the game go down. The whole Giant season went down the tubes, with Neighbors, and they have to improve that field. I don't understand. And they have the World Cup, I think, coming there too. So this is going to be interesting how this field plays out, because a lot of people are getting injured. A lot of the opponents are very critical on the opposite side of the Jets and the Giants. So take that into consideration as well. But this should be a track meet, 47.5 at the Rampart in South Point. Naturally, the ticket count is in favor of the Cowboys at 10-1 right now, guys. We can't buy a bet on the Jets. So this game is probably going to get to 3. I'll be holding a sign on Rampart Boulevard, bet the Jets, please bet the Jets. Jets, because we're going to get crushed with Cowboy parlay, money line, teaser money. We're already getting crushed with it. So let's hope the Jets show up, and maybe Dallas could win by 1 or 2 and make me happy.
I was going to say, Dwayne, it actually, in the last few years, it wasn't a terrible spot to be needing to fade Dallas, especially on the road, but the Jets have been so bad. Yeah. By the way, real quick, also, I think I'm happy you brought the thing up with the turf with MetLife, where they're replacing the turf with grass for the World Cup. Like that is,
they have
and they should do that for the football at this point. It's nonsense. There's too many injuries. That turf, even with changing that turf, the game before Aaron Rodgers ruptured his Achilles, of course, is still complete nonsense.
What's hilarious? They need to go over to the Meadowlands facility, the racetrack, look at that plush turf course that they don't even run flat racing. They only run a turf course meet for about 2 weeks. Get that groundskeeper for the racetrack to go over to MetLife and show them how to grow some grass, because the Meadowlands has a beautiful turf course. And like you said, it's unacceptable to have a brand new facility and have this turf, this short grain turf, where you're seeing Aaron Rodgers go down, Neighbors go down. These are the superstars of New York, and now they're not playing and not on the field because of that stadium and because of that turf. It's unacceptable.
Dwayne, you brought up Malik Neighbors being out for the season. Now walk us through this game. Of course, Jackson Dart leads the Giants to their first win. I think that had more to do with the Charger injuries, but they're catching 2. The Saints are actually a favorite here. Spencer Rattler still trying to get his first win, and the Saints are 0-4 coming into this. What do you think about this spread here and the total 42?
I definitely think the Giants have a chance, Alex. I mean, they're going to run Scatterboo. He's a beast. I'll tell you right now, this kid is good for 140 yards a game. And if he stays healthy, he's definitely going to run it down their throat. A few little passes out of the backfield. They should be very efficient. Jackson Dart, he's got good legs. He should be able to move around. It's just the key now. You don't have that major weapon, and they could double down on the other offensive wide receivers. But, a lot of pressure on Kamara on the other side of the ball. New Orleans just looks terrible. They might be the worst team in the NFL. Very shocked that they're giving points here right now. And the Giant ticket count is very high right now. We're looking at 5-1, Alex, on the Giants. The money also is about 3.5-1. So this game could only come down. I never like the Saints putting this product on the field. It's going to be difficult for them to stop the Giants. Plus, the Giants should be able to bring a pass rush, but their defenses look terrible. I mean, Dallas just shredded them. They were life and death last week. Let's see how this plays out. It is a new era there, and Jackson Dart definitely is capable, but Dable is not. I mean, Dable's a clown in my impression. He just doesn't get the respect of his players. He wants to put his head on now Jackson Dart, alienate Russell. You have serviceable quarterbacks there. They should be looking to make a trade of Jameis Winston right now to get some, value for him. If you're going to go with Dart, Russell Wilson will not, start, I don't think, for the rest of the season unless Dart gets hurt. So let's see how it plays out. I mean, Giants are in disarray. Saints are horrible. Definitely a layoff game for me, but I understand the public backing the Giants, even though it's in New Orleans.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because you would think this would be a Joes versus pros, but it seems like public and sharps are on the Giants here.
Yeah, all the money's on the Giants. So, thus far, we're not seeing much New Orleans action. If it does get maybe lower, but it's as low as it could get. I mean, you get to 1, you got to win the game. So who knows?
Dwayne, I want to go to the biggest move of the weekend, and this is another one, of course, that has to do with cluster injuries and a quarterback injury, and that's the Raven-Texan game where we saw some look-ahead numbers where Baltimore was pushing almost double digits. Now, after, of course, new data points, Texans smashed the terrible Titans. Ravens look awful in defeat in Kansas City and suffer more defensive injuries. And now Jackson may be on the shelf, at least for a week, maybe 2, maybe 3. We don't really know. The Ravens have been super quiet on Jackson's status. It's all reports more than anything. Houston's a 2-point favorite here now, Dwayne. Total's down to 40.5 as well. What do you think? What do you think with this one now with the uncertain nature of Lamar Jackson looming over Baltimore?
I think it's more of the defensive factors, like you said, Jeff. I mean, with that defense totally banged up, maybe CJ can move the ball, get it to Nico Collins, spread it around. But definitely, like you said, I mean, I feel confident running Henry, 35 to 40 times a game, which they're going to have to do. And, he fumbled away a few games early this year, but he's still one of the best running backs in the NFL. If they could play ball control, I mean, Houston hasn't impressed me this year that much. And I definitely think that Stroud makes mistakes at times. And, it's going to be tough without Lamar out there, but Baltimore needs to win games, especially if Pittsburgh continues to win. That's the whole key. I mean, Cincinnati's horrible. Cleveland's horrible. Baltimore, this is a good position to rest up Lamar because they played terrible in the marquee matchups that they had early in the season. But, Harbaugh should be coming clean. I mean, this is another coach that now I'm starting to question. He's nowhere near as good as his brother, even though he has a title in his, holster. I definitely think the Ravens can play ball control here. That's why you're only seeing 40.5. And this game may be an under game, guys. I think the under might be the play. I'm looking at the ticket count. The ticket count is 2-1 in favor of Baltimore, but all the sharps are on the Texans. So this is going to be a two-way action game, in my opinion. I like Baltimore to play a little ball control and under. I think they need to win this game.
Very good there, Sean. I think this is the game of the day, at least in the morning. Broncos-Eagles. I think the Broncos are better than their record shows, and the Eagles are pretty fortunate to be 4-0 here now. Looks like we're getting money on the Eagles, though. It was 3.5 for most of the week. Now it's moved to 4 here at the South Point. Total 43. Any thoughts on this one?
Well, ticket count is 3.5 to 1, Alex, on the Eagles. So, the Eagles offense looks terrible. I'll be honest with you, but they're winning games. They have so much talent. I mean, and if Saquon takes control of a game, they're definitely going to win. A.J. Brown is not happy. We know that. I mean, there's no targets. Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's not a quarterback that could get really the ball down the field, but he's another game manager. He doesn't make too many mistakes. He knows when to tuck and run. They definitely have some other weapons other than A.J. Brown, but they have to exploit them. I mean, just running constantly and scrambling around and trying to make things happen is not a way to win in the NFL. I think the Broncos have a tremendous chance here. I mean, they've been in every game, dog fights left and right. I mean, they played some really good games. That was a tough game against the Chargers. They blew out Cincy the way they should have. I like the Broncos. I'll take anything over a field goal here until the Eagles offense shows me they could definitely control a game. Even the Dallas game, they had no business winning that game. It was just the Dallas defense is so poor. Dak Prescott outplayed Hurts in that game. And last week, I mean, they didn't look all that great, but they got the win. So I think the Broncos are an up-and-coming team, and Bo Nix knows what to do. I definitely like his rah-rah attitude. If he could start to move the ball, he's another one. Don't rely on your legs so much. You're going to eventually get crushed. And, protect yourself at all times. That's always what I say when you're a quarterback in the NFL, especially against this Eagle defense that's been winning the games for them. So, I like the Broncos, but it's tough to go against the world champions in the Eagles.
Best in the market on Denver right now at 4. It's 3.5 everywhere else in the current moment. All right, Dwayne, going to the late card in the NFL on Sunday. This is a really low-key good game early at that 105 slot. Seattle and Tampa, they're both wearing throwback jerseys, so also look good as well, better than both of their current nonsense jerseys. Best number in the market on Tampa right now at 3.5 flat. Of course, only flat, minus 110 juice on all NFL and college football games at the South Point and the Rampart. A total of 44.5. Dwayne, I'm having a hard time with this because I see that 3.5 and I'm like, shouldn't I be taking Tampa? And then it's like, well, Seattle's defense has the pieces to slow down that vaunted Buccaneer passing attack.
Yeah, definitely. And no Evans. So keep that in mind. Shepard got banged up last game. So the wide receivers are starting to feel it. Baker Mayfield's starting to get really outspoken now. And, I love the guy. He's a gamer. But, it seems like there's constantly a soundbite coming out of this guy's mouth. He's still on the Jet thing. I don't understand that. I mean, if you can't beat the Jets, you might as well keep your mouth shut. But going on into week 3 and week 4 about that coaching staff and everything, it's just ridiculous at this point. I like Seattle in this game. I think the defense is definitely going to force Baker's hand. Donald's been playing great. He knows how to move the ball around. Definitely a sharpshooter, especially in the regular season. Donald has proven that he could definitely win games. Look at last year for Minnesota. You're at home. I would love to see the game go down to 3. We're a little high right now on Tampa money, so this game could see the 3-point cusp, and I definitely will lay 3 in this game. If it gets to that, ticket count is nearly even. I'm looking at it. Money slightly in favor of the Bucs because we have the best deal in the market right now at the Rampart and South Point. So this is a great matchup. Like you said, for the 105 games, total 44.5. I'm going to take the Seahawks on a flyer in this game. I like the home team, and I definitely think it's time for Baker to rein it in. Eventually, these injuries are going to factor into play with this team.
Imagine if Joe Burrow was playing this 1 o'clock window, would be so good. But I'm actually going to skip that game completely. Lions are an 8-point favorite over the Bengals. I want to talk about Washington. 10 up to 10. I want to talk about Washington
10, double
and
digits.
The Chargers, as they probably should be. Chargers, we know they have their O-line injuries now kind of building up. Still a favorite. If you like Washington, this is the best number you can get. 3, Jaden Daniels should return in this one. Total 48.
Yeah, take it all day, Alex. I mean, they're banged up on the wide receiver side, but that offensive line, if they can't protect Herbert, how do you get those deep plays down the field? And definitely their wide receivers are a little banged up as well. You have that weapon in McConkey. He knows how to get across on the fly patterns. You mix it in with the run, but Najee Harris isn't there anymore. So the offensive line is banged up. Now you get Jaden Daniels back. This is a massive game, Alex, on the schedule for this Commander team. Because if the Eagles ever win this week and the Commanders lose, the division's almost gone, and then play him for a wild card position is going to be very difficult. I think Jaden's going to come out with a chip on his shoulder. I think this team is going to move the ball. I love the Commanders with the field goal here. Get it before it goes down. At the Rampart and South Point, we're still seeing Charger money, and the ticket count is nearly 3.5 to 1 on the Chargers. But, the Commander money is starting to roll in, and the parlays, the sharps, they're definitely on the Commanders. So I could see this going to 2.5. I like the Commanders. I'll take the 3.
Dwayne, I want to go to Sunday night, but more so than the game, I have a Buffalo-related question for you. So we're 7.5 on the Bills. By the way, I think the Bills might actually be my favorite play of the week, even north of 7 against New England. Total 49. But Dwayne, I just want to ask you, because we're only down to 2 undefeated teams. It's Buffalo and Philadelphia. You already mentioned before that you don't really love what you've seen from Philly through the first 4 weeks. I said this to Alex earlier in the week. There is an outside shot. Buffalo could be into the high double digits unbeaten this year because of how big of a joke their schedule is. They're over a touchdown this week. They're going to be near a touchdown on the road at Atlanta next week. Over a touchdown on the road at Carolina after that. Then they play Kansas City. If they get by that, all right, Tampa, Pittsburgh on the schedule. This is a joke of a schedule for Buffalo. And Dwayne, I understand it's only week 4. I understand it is early, but it's so early to say this, but we are at Super Bowl or bust already for Buffalo, aren't we? Even though it's only week 5, assuming health is held up for this Bills team.
Yeah, definitely. And the public anticipated that. We got plied with Super Bowl money to win the AFC money. Everything is on Buffalo. But like you said, that schedule does get difficult as you move on. Don't think that Tampa and Pittsburgh are just pushovers. If Allen ever gets hurt, Cook ever gets hurt, you're going to see different aspects of that game and the coaching be under focus. So Buffalo looks very good. You said they might be the best bet of the week. I'm not so sure. I think that Drake May is definitely capable of keeping it within 7. They've shown flashes. They're 2-2. They're the second best team in the East, the AFC East. But, this is a Buffalo juggernaut right now. It seems like they could score whenever they want. Not a covering machine, though. Keep that in mind. It's much better where we're going to see a ton of teasers and money line parlays on this team. And I'm looking right now, the ticket count naturally is about 5 to 1. But the money is very close in this game thus far. Bills 7.5 at home. Very difficult place to play, especially at night. It's going to start to get colder. I've been watching the weather forecast. It's already in Manhattan going to be down to the 50s. So picture it in Buffalo. It's going to be cold. Not that New England isn't prepared for that, but they're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to play some ball control, keep Allen off the field, hope he makes a few mistakes. Bills are definitely the front runner now after that big victory against the Ravens. Like you said, the schedule, we almost, marked up 6 victories when you're playing the Jets, New England, and especially Miami now. Very difficult spot for New England. We're going to see a ton of teasers. I'll be rooting for New England on Buffalo in this game, and it's going to be a tremendous liability if the public is hot in the morning and afternoon riding on this game. So we're definitely going to be rooting for New England, I feel, when it comes down to Sunday night. Good matchup, though. Total 49, expecting a lot of points. But, if that Buffalo Bills defense steps up, they could keep Drake May off the field and control this game. They're so capable right now. It is Super Bowl or bust unless a massive injury comes around. You look at the teams beneath them on this odds to win the AFC graphic. Chargers, I'm not even so sure they're better than the Chiefs as of yet. Lamar's going to be really banged up. Bo Nix, 15 to 1. Aaron Rodgers, 15 to 1. Colts have been the biggest surprise. So I anticipate we're going to get some Colt money to win the championship, especially after that showing last week. And Daniel Jones, Taylor, they've been really, really good. Keep your eye on that team. Jacksonville is playing ahead of expectations. Houston, I don't find them a threat. And then New England. So, yeah, it's Buffalo's definitely AFC to win or lose.
Well, let's talk about Jacksonville Monday night against the Chiefs here. I think we'll learn a lot about them catching 3.5 at home. Chiefs, looks like their offense might be back. They got Xavier Worthy back, and it was never in doubt for them to beat the Ravens at home last week. 46.5 is the total. What do you think about this, Dwayne? I mean, that 3.5, that hook right there.
I mean, ticket count's 5-1. This is another game where I'm going to be on Rampart Boulevard holding a sign. Could you please bet on Lawrence and Jacksonville? I mean, we're taking tons of Chief money here, with Worthy back and Kelsey healthy. Mahomes looks rejuvenated. Pacheco. This is a tough game. Jacksonville always gets to this level, Alex, and then all of a sudden they can't play. Then the mistakes start coming and they may, silly fumbles, silly, going for it on third and 10 and you throw a 5-yard pass. This is where Jacksonville has to step it up. I mean, you're playing in Jacksonville, but it isn't a huge home field advantage. The weather should be comfortable for both teams. Chiefs really flexed last week and showed you that they're still here, and definitely they're well coached. So I think the Chiefs are the play, but, I'm hoping that we get some Jacksonville money. I mean, 3.5 on the road. You got that hook, like you said. That's a big point, but I think the Chiefs are a much better team at this stage of the season. Now, if Jacksonville wins this game, maybe they start to turn the corner and start to become a perennial threat in the AFC, but I'm not so sure yet. The Chiefs are still the better team, better coach, better talent on the field. Let's see how it plays out. I like the Chiefs, but 3.5 is a touch on the road.
Our guy, Dwayne Colucci, up at the Rampart Race and Sportsbook up in lovely Summerlin here in Las Vegas on the tweets and NYBookie. Dwayne, spelled like Dwayne Reed, if you're familiar with all those fun shops in the New York area.
Drugstores.
You know it, my friend. DC, it's a pleasure. We'll see you again next Thursday.
Thanks, guys. Always a pleasure to join the best race and sports knowledgeable show on the airwaves. This is the best. We know that. Definitely Sports by the Book. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Of course, Dwayne Colucci, everybody. All right, when we get back, Alex and I will look at that one terrible college football game very quickly, and then we have 3 baseball playoff games. Winner advances, loser is done. 2 in the America League, 1 at Wrigley Field in the NL. When we get back, Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
Ready to bet smarter? Get sports betting tips straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
I like the Commanders at 3.
I know if it hits 7, don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
The wise guys were all over Florida last week, and they're against Florida this week. That's not a common pattern.
I think these teams could score a lot. I would look at the over.
I'm very high on Tampa Bay. I think they can go there and they can win this game.
Subscribe for free to Sports by the Book on YouTube. Your winning edge starts now.
Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Join Jeff Parles and Alex White.
One of my favorite plays here is getting 2 touchdowns with Florida State.
Even though the total's been batted down a little bit, I still think it's okay to go under.
Chris Andrews and Vinny Magliulo.
I don't think this is a great Kansas City team. I think the Chargers win this game.
All right.
If you see a hook here, it's not going to last long.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
Are we sure either of these quarterbacks are good?
Hell no, we're not sure.
Bet your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming live on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
Welcome back in Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White. All right, quickly, Alex, and I mean quickly on this. we got to give them their due. Out in Las Cruces tonight, Sam Houston State goes on the road to take on New Mexico State. Bearcats are 2-point road favorites in this one, total 53.5. I'll just say this. I don't have any play. I don't think you do either, but who is Sam Houston to be a road favorite against anybody at this point?
I made New Mexico State 2-point favorite. 2-point favorite here at home. I think they're pretty similar in power rating, so it's a lean for me. But New Mexico State's coming off of their big rivalry game, and they really hung in that one against New Mexico. And then wheels kind of fell off in the second half. So that makes me a little bit nervous about where they are coming into this one. But they're at home. You're getting 2 points. I mean, Sam Houston's 0-4, and they're coming off a brutal loss to Texas. They did have a bye week in between to get right there, but 55-0 loss for them. Might be the embarrassment factor. My dad always says, I mean, when team gets shut out, you're going to get their best effort in the next one. So it's a stay away from me.
It would only be the plus price with the home dog. Closest game, I mean, Sam Houston, 55-0, of course, last time out against Texas. Their other 3 games, they lost by 17 at all 3 of them. And also, that week 1 performance also made us think Western Kentucky might be good, and they're not.
You're right.
Like,
it definitely got me.
It's not a good football team. And again, who the hell are they to be favored on the road against anybody at the FBS level, other than maybe Kent State, who we'll get to tomorrow on Football Frenzy on a Friday with our guys, Chris Andrews and Vinny Maliulo. All right, Alex, this is the 4th year of the Wild Card Series being a permanent spot in Major League Baseball. When it started in 2022, since then, we've only had 2 Game 3s. Mets Padres in 2022, Mets Brewers in 2024. Very small sample size. The road team is 2-0. Unbelievably small sample size, though. Only 2 games. Road team is 2-0. Just throwing that out there. We start in Cleveland. Game 3, 3 o'clock Eastern, first pitch in Rock City. Noon out here on the West Coast. Slade Ciccone against Jack Flaherty. Cleveland is a favorite in this game at -130. It's plus 115 on the Tigers. By the way, if you had over 6.5 yesterday in that Guardian Tiger game, I'm gonna clap, because that was a hell of a win and a horrible one if you had the under 6.5. But you know what? You should have bet the 7 when it was available,
Or a first 5,
or a first 5, which the first 5 unders have been quite good so far this postseason when the Dodgers had not been involved. We talked about it all year. Flaherty's been bad on the road, and for Detroit, I mean, they had so many opportunities in that game yesterday. They have a run taken off the board because of a silly base running mistake by McKinstry. I know some people thought there was not enough evidence. All of us down here thought he was clearly out, and the run did not get in, and that was it. I'm not going to do anything here, but there are -125s out there on Cleveland. I don't mind that on Ciccone here. I think this is a slight pitching advantage for the Guards because of the way Flaherty has pitched on the road this season.
Give me the Tigers plus money to win this game. Maybe we can keep that road team winning going. I think Flaherty, I agree with you. I see the numbers. I know there are spots where he has definitely struggled on the road. I think he's the type of pitcher that can step up in the big moments. I think he will here today. I mean, his last road start against Cleveland was not great, but that was a back-to-back, them seeing him. Mm-hmm. Time before that, he went to New York, pitched 5 innings, 0 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, and 1 walk. So he knows how to really turn it on when the lights come on. So I think the Tigers are the better team. Haven't really showed it, especially offensively. And I know Cleveland's got that bullpen to back up Ciccone, but I like that plus price there.
I am very interested. By the way, total 7 in this game. Definitely like the under in this one, even though, again, I don't love these. But this is so interesting. These books just don't want to go to 7.5 because you see here at the South Point, it's 7 over -125. Caesars, now granted, Caesars is Caesars at this point. They're 7 over -30. Westgate, we know they're good, -125 over 7. Like, these books do not want to put a 7.5 up there. They just don't want to do it. The only one I see is Hard Rock and ESPN bet have 7.5 -35. So I do like this under 7 at a plus price. I really do. I think we could see a push, like 4-3 makes a lot of sense one way or the other. but it would be a lean to the under. By the way, one other note I want to bring up, Alex. We talked about this very sparingly through the week, but I pointed it out last night on the X machine. The yes run in the first inning was 4 for 4 yesterday. And today, if you're going through those, you're getting plus prices on all 3 games here today still.
Wow.
It's plus 115, plus 120, depending on the book. The better books, the square books have it closer to even right now on the S. But just keep that in mind that, yeah, we expect these games to be tight. We expect them to be low scoring. We've seen first inning runs in both games in this series so far as well. So just keep that in mind if you're blindly betting the Nerfy, which is the no run scored in the first inning, Alex.
I don't hate that at all. And especially looking at the 6 pitchers we have going today.
Yeah.
I want to look into them specifically more. And if they give up runs early on, and I think Flaherty might be one of them for sure. But it's interesting, too. We're getting a 4 for the first 5. So that means they like these bullpens almost as much as they like the starting pitchers.
Well, the only thing I will bring up, like Cleveland's had to use their horses out of the bullpen so far in this series.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that scares me. We got guys going, and this will come up in the next game for sure. 3 straight days? It's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot to ask of these relievers who almost never do that in the regular season. So just keep that in mind. That is the one argument against going under full game in this, is that we'll have fatigue bullpen guys in this one. All right, let's go to Wrigley. Speaking about bullpen, how about Mason Miller yesterday? My God, I mean, that poor Carson Kelly, that 104 right on the corner. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? Padres win yesterday 3-0. Both of these games have been very low scoring, so the wind blowing in has actually helped the pitchers so far in this series. Season on the line, and Jamison Tyone is your starter for the Cubs. Oh boy, but that's what they got here today for Chicago. Darvish will go for the Padres. We knew this the whole way that Darvish was going to get a game 3. Coin flip, basically, Pods are a small favorite here at the South Point. Total 7.5, Alex. I am very curious how the Padre back end of the bullpen holds up here, because Morejon and Miller have gone in both games. Morejon went long yesterday, too, out of the bullpen. Schilt rode him as long as you could have asked. Morejon got 7 outs yesterday. Miller got 5 outs. Now, the one good thing is that Robert Suarez, who is the guy who is closing games, despite being, their 4th best reliever on the roster, did not pitch in game 1. So you can push him after getting 4 outs yesterday if you're Schilt. But that always worries me when you have your bullpen guys who are not you, and I mentioned it with Cleveland, not used to going back-to-back days. I just wonder how much that plays a role here today. I'm not betting this. I'm rolling with my Padre pre-series ticket. Whatever happens, happens for me in this, Alex.
I don't want to be opposite of you for all of these games, but I kind of like the Cubs here at home.
I have no bet on this game. I'm just hoping my series price gets home.
I really think, I know you said Jamison Tyone for the game 3, but I'm worried about Darvish on the other side.
Can't argue with that.
I mean, he's given up at minimum 2 and then gave up 3 to Colorado, Cincinnati, and Baltimore. So those are his last 5 starts here. So I really like Cubs first 5. And then maybe if Padres bullpen does come in, it's minus 130, minus 120 here at the South Point. I think that's a pretty good number. I'm going to take a shot with the home team to have the lead after the first 5 innings here at minus 120.
I can't really fault any way you go in this game. I really can't. Like, I see the argument for everything here. I see the argument for this being, even with the wind blowing in again, I could see the argument for this being a high-scoring game because we don't trust either of these pitchers. I could see the argument that Darvish and Tyone are aided by the wind blowing in, and this is 1-0 through 5 innings. I could see the Padres bullpen guys holding up fine, and Darvish going 5 innings, and the bullpen, the super bullpen does the job, and the Padres win a low-scoring game. I see the Cubs hitting a bunch of homers today. This is of the 3 games today, this is the hardest handicap by far. And I hope my Padre series ticket gets home. If it doesn't, so be it. We'll move to the NLDS on this side. By the way, of course, the Dodgers dispatched of the Reds with ease. In this format, I'm just throwing this out there, and of course, every team is different. The National League Central, entering today's game with the Cubs, are now 0-4. They have not won a wild card series yet in this format. And if you want to go even further back, if you want to include 2020, they're 0-7. So for whatever reason, the National League Central has been awful in these best of three series. Winner of this, of course, gets the National League Central champion Milwaukee Brewers.
That's right.
So we'll see how that all plays out. Again, no play for me. You have a lean to the Cubs, especially in the first five here today.
First five -120. I think that is a pretty good price there. Because, I mean, Jameson Tye on his last five starts, he's definitely had four really good ones, which is one earned run. He's going deep into games, 6, even 7 innings pitched for him. Strikeouts, good ratio to walk. So, yeah, I'm going to go first five there. I do worry that Padres have the arms for the bullpen, though, for the full game. But, yeah.
Let's go to the Bronx last. And it's two young guys, two rookies, making the biggest starts of their lives in a winner-take-all series between still the best rivalry in the American League and arguably the best rivalry in all baseball still, even though I think Dodgers-Padres has the edge at the current moment. Schlittler and Early. Connor Early's been really good since coming up in September. I know the win-loss record isn't there, but he's pitched well.
Yes.
Cam has been a revelation for the Yankees. He's been their second-best starter since coming up a little bit over 2 months ago. Alex, I think this price is too steep. I think this should be closer to about -130 on the Yankees here tonight. They should be favored. They're at home. They have a slight pitching advantage, but I think this is too big of a number on the Yankees. There's one concern that I have on the Boston side tonight, and it's not the young gun Early. The way Alex Cora used Garrett Whitlock, who is his second-best bullpen arm yesterday, where he just let him die out there at the end. And it was a little bit of bad luck. I get it, where not many guys are going to be able to score from first base on that ball that Wells hit. Chisholm was on the move because it was a 3-2 count, and it was great hustle all the way. Jazz Chisholm was arguably the most important Yankee yesterday because he saved the Yankees in the 7th inning as well with that great diving play to keep the ball in the infield as well. I'm not betting this game. I have a Red Sox pre-series ticket at +160. I am not doing anything extra. But I think this price is a little too high on the Yankees. If I were coming in cold, it would only be a bet on Boston. But I have a big worry because I don't think Garrett Whitlock, I get it. It's your season's on the line. If he's asked to pitch, how much could he possibly have left in the tank after throwing 50-plus pitches yesterday?
I'm worried about both sides. Relievers coming in here and who's going to close out for the Yankees.
Well,
but
Bednar will be okay, but before him, though.
Before him, yes. I think that total's too low. 7.5. I think we're going to see runs here between both sides, and especially you're putting these two young guys in this spot. One way or the other, I think we're going to get some runs. So I like over 7.5. I'm probably not going to hedge. I've got my +450 here for the Yankees to finish off this series. But I thought that price was pretty good here for the Yankees too. But over 7.5, I think is the best play.
Well, I will say the Yankees. I will say we'll throw this out there, and you just mentioned it, where Bednar, Cruz, and Williams all have pitched back-to-back days, and Weaver was completely ineffective in Game 1.
More than ineffective, you would say.
He was incompetent. Yes,
yeah,
in that game. So there is that concern that I brought up with the other two games of like, hey, how much do these dudes have left in the tank? They don't get it. They don't go 3 straight days in the regular season in this day and age. How much do all those guys who are, again, I know Williams has had a down year. I know Weaver has not been as good as he was a year ago, but these are 4 high-end relievers that the Yankees have at the back end. But how much do you have left? And I think Boston, look, you lose a 1-run game in the playoffs, it hurts, but they didn't have to throw Chapman yesterday. So 6 outs for Aroldis Chapman should be in play here tonight.
Right.
So if Boston's got even if it's a 4-3, a 5-4, whatever it is going to the 8th inning, if I'm Cora, I'm going to Chapman for 6 outs. Just get there. And if he doesn't get there, then so be it. Then it is what it is. You go down with your best on the mound.
Yeah, but don't forget, I mean, he didn't get the bases were loaded in the night.
He got out of it, though.
Yes, he did.
he weaseled his way out, but he got it. And look, he was not sharp. That was the least sharp he has been in a long time on Tuesday night, but he got out of it.
Yeah.
So here are your updated odds to win the AL pennant. The Mariners are sub $2. The Mariners are a shorter favorite in the American League than anyone is in the NL right now here at the South Point. And look, I'm sitting on a nice, pretty ticket on the Mariners, but I think that's a little insane.
Yeah.
I know there's liability stacked up here, but boy, if it's Detroit that gets out of that other series, and I know the Tigers have not played well the last month, but they have the pitching to shut down that Seattle offense. And I also am a little concerned. Like, I know they're in the postseason a few years ago, but it's a whole different animal. You have home field, you won a division. It's a little bit different being the hunted as opposed to the hunter, what Seattle was a few years ago when they won a wild card series in 2022 and then got swept by the Astros 3 years ago.
I like the vibe there right now. I like how
good
they're
vibe.
playing. I'm almost more concerned because of the
rest,
time off.
the
Yeah,
rest, yeah.
the rest. Big.
No, they all these teams had inter-squad scrimmages yesterday for the teams that were sitting out. I don't know if you saw this.
No.
The Mariners brought Ichiro out to play right field for one of the teams yesterday.
I did not see
Yeah,
that. That's
so-
fantastic.
So, but yeah, there you go. All the teams, Phillies drew 32,000 fans to their scrimmage yesterday, which credit to those fans for hopping out to that yesterday. All right, let's take a short break. When we get back, we'll get your whiteboard. We'll get the trivia question and the poll, what the pollsters did in the poll as well here today when we get back. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio here on a Thursday.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, Triple Sevens, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3 to 2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai-Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
Welcome back in Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White. Alex's whiteboard is ready, but we'll get to that in a few moments. First off, we got ticker trivia brought to you by City Lights Shine. Of course, hey, South Point 400 a week from Sunday up at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So looking forward to that. Gone Racing coming your way later today. Also, Gone Racing will be up at the Speedway next week. So
That's
looking
fun, yeah.
forward to that. All right. The
I was
hockey
just
question.
thinking if we were making it out there this year
Eh,
for the South Point 400.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. On October 2nd of this date, in 1999, October 2nd is, of course, this date. On this date in 1999, the newly formed Atlanta Thrashers, well, they don't exist anymore, but they were newly formed in 1999, played their first NHL game against the New Jersey Devils. During the team's tenure in Atlanta between 99 and 2011, before relocating to become the second version of the Winnipeg Jets, who was the team's leading scorer? And it's kind of ironic that the first game that the Thrashers played came against the New Jersey Devils because some of this guy's best work came as a member of the New Jersey Devils. And that was Ilya Kovalchuk, who was a great Thrasher, ended up going to the Devils. Devils made a Stanley Cup final with Kovalchuk as their best player in 2012. Wow. And he was the all-time leading scorer, 328 goals in 8 seasons down in Atlanta. Boy, those Thrasher jerseys with good colors were really ugly, Alex. Those are good colors, but those jerseys are terrible, mostly because that logo was terrible for the Thrashers. Atlanta's lost multiple hockey teams to Canada because the Flames, of course, started in Atlanta before moving to Calgary as well. But it was Ilya Kovalchuk who also led the league in the year before the lockout came through in the NHL. So there you go.
Very good. Led the league in goals.
Yeah, in 03-04. Yep. Horrible jerseys. I mean, those are good colors too, but those jerseys were so bad. Man. All right.
I got to really take a look at the Utah ones.
They're better than those. Because I don't know what that Thrasher logo just looks so weird. Now, of course, the Utah Mammoth.
Yes.
Not the Utah Hockey Club anymore. New one. All right. The polls question. Which game 3 today will go over the total? 7 in Cleveland, 7.5 in Chicago, 7.5 in New York. Alex White, the polls with you. 44% of it on Yankees, Red Sox will be the one to go over. Cleveland and Detroit at 31%, and then a quarter of the poll on the Cubs and the Padres. I do agree with you that it more likely than not would be the Yankee and the Red Sox game as the most likely to go over.
Feels like the Cubs and Padres have had a lot of opportunities too, and both those pitchers going. But we'll see.
All right, whiteboard time.
Okay.
Ready to rock?
I'm ready. Taking a shot with the Tigers here. Flaherty on the bump, plus 115 to win this game 3. I'm taking the Cubs first 5 to have the lead here, minus 120. Of course, if it's tied, it'll just be a push. And then Red Sox, Yankees over 7.5. 2 young pitchers going today. Plus, I'm a little concerned with the relievers coming in the bullpen. So that's it for me. Nothing from Thursday. Too many unknowns there. Just going to watch that San Francisco Rams game.
Yeah, there's really not much to be had on that Thursday night game. It just matter of which bomb touchdown price will I end up taking. Which ridiculous wide receiver for San Francisco.
What about McCaffrey for 2? I wonder if that price is good enough.
I have to imagine it's probably not, but I'm going to check right now, knowing what these books will do for McCaffrey. Oh, I see 3 touchdowns. That's good. McCaffrey's plus 550 for 2, which I don't think is quite good enough.
Better than I was thinking.
Yeah, it's a little better than I thought. I thought it was going to be like plus 450 or something like that. That's at DraftKings. I again, like Kendrick Bourne, DeMarcus Robinson, Kyle Juszczyk, who scored a touchdown 2 weeks ago as well. Like, there are guys. Yeah. There are guys down the board on the Niner end if you want to take some bomber shots here tonight. All right, Gone Racing comes your way a little bit later today. Be on the lookout for that at Gone Racing on Gone Racing YouTube page. Jeff Motley, Brennan Gone, get you ready for the weekend in NASCAR. We're back tomorrow. We have 2 shows tomorrow. Football Frenzy on a Friday is at noon. Our regular show's at 10 a.m. Be looking ahead to the weekend in Major League Baseball on the 10 a.m. show. Also, 5 pretty average college football games that we'll give our thoughts on the 10 a.m. show, but then the whole weekend ahead.
Yes.
NFL, Week 6 in college football with Chris Andrews and Vinny Malleule and Alex and I here at noon on Football Frenzy on a Friday here on Sports by the Book. She's Alex. I'm Jeff. Big thanks to our guy Sean today, Drew Dog, and Vince all in studio here today. We will see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. and at noon right here on the Sports by the Book channel here at South Point Hotel and Casino.